Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Yes. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna start talking and I'm just gonna see what happens. Here we go, we're gonna get started. Hey guys, it's Ruthie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe, ring the notification bell, and again, the notification when I make a new video. If you like the content in this video, then I highly recommend you go check out my other videos in the Ruthie Rambles playlist because it's a lot more things just like this. So, if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming that you either have IBD or are interested in hypnosis, or both. Or maybe you have a loved one with IBD and or is interested in hypnosis. So I have talked about gut hypnosis in another one of my videos before, but I'm not positive which one it was, so I'll find it and I'll link it below, or I'll put it up here somewhere. I'll just be as brief as possible in sharing my health history up to this point, just in case this is the first video you're watching of mine. And if you know me or have watched these videos before, I'll just put a timestamp here and you can just fast forward this part. So, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 15 years old. I tried all the different medications on the market. I had some success for a while. I tried all these different diets. I'm trying to keep this brief, so I won't tell you everything I tried. I tried a lot of things, and then when I was 18, I went down to 100 pounds, and I am 5'11", so I was a shell. I was on my deathbed. I was like a skeleton of myself. So they did the first surgery of my 3-part total colectomy. They took out my colon, and I woke up with an ostomy bag. I had the ostomy bag for 6 months. 3 months after that first surgery, I had another one to construct the J pouch, which is like a replacement colon they make out of your small intestine, so there's nothing artificial in me. And then 3 months after that, so 6 months after the first surgery, I had the reversal. So they put my organs back inside my body, got rid of the ostomy bag, thank God, and connected my intestines back together. So now everything's inside of me. I'm relatively normal. I poop out my butt, so that's normal. I just go more often because I don't have a big colon. I have like a really small one, so it doesn't hold as much. Here are my battle scars. I have the same one that's here. I have it right here too. And then I have, this is where my stoma was. Right here. And yeah, this discoloration, I don't know. It could be bruising. It could be from the heating pad. I think it's from the heating pad, but I don't know. So, it's so hard to keep this brief. Holy shit. Long story short, I guess, I've had a total of 6 surgeries. I've had 3 additional surgeries after those 3 I just mentioned, all due to complications from the first 3 surgeries. So like scar tissue issues and scar tissue issues. Just a lot of bullshit. A lot of blockages, bowel obstructions, things like that. My most recent surgery was September of 2020, so about 9 months ago. So yeah, I think that's brief enough. That gets you caught up. If you wanna know more about the specifics of my health history, then there's plenty of videos where I talk a lot about it. Back to today's topic, hypnotherapy. You're getting very sleepy. Just kidding, it's not really like that type of hypnotherapy. So I'm gonna explain it. The first time I heard of gut hypnosis, I saw it in a pamphlet at Mass General, probably in like 2014-ish. I tried to call and get an appointment and it was full for like years ahead, and I was like, all right, I guess that's not happening. So that combination of words immediately drew me, like gut hypnosis. Ever since I was first diagnosed with colitis, I noticed the correlation between my flare-ups and my stress level. Without fail, every midterms or finals or big volleyball tournament or just anything big that I couldn't miss, I would inevitably get a flare-up and have to miss it. My life would just feel like it was over. But it was just a feeling, it wasn't a fact, my life was not over, I'm here. So I didn't get to do the gut hypnosis when I first heard about it. But one of the great things that ended up coming out of the 2 surgeries I had in 2020 was that I got to work with an IBD therapist. Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, they have a whole IBD center. So they have all these social workers and therapists and nutritionists that are trained specifically in IBD, and Crohn's and colitis and IBS, all of like this stuff. The reason they have a big IBD center is because they are all aware of how complicated IBD is and how many different factors there are. So what happens a lot of the time if you have only a gastroenterologist and then you go to a nutritionist somewhere else and then you go to a therapist somewhere else and they're not communicating with each other, it's just a missed opportunity. When you go into a flare-up, maybe your nutritionist knows that you've been eating bad food for you or have just been overeating or something like that. Your therapist might think something is emotionally wrong and your gastro might think something is physically wrong. It would just be so much more helpful for everyone involved in the process if all the records were like kept together. So that's the whole idea of the IBD Center at Mount Sinai. And I'm sure that exists at other hospitals around the country. I actually no longer live in New York. I'm not a part of this IBD Center anymore, unfortunately. But I'm at Mass General now in Boston. In 2013, 2014, when I saw the Gut Hypnosis, that was through Mass General. So I'm sure they have a similar setup as Mount Sinai. And hopefully that exists in other areas in the country. And if it doesn't, the internet, Zoom, this pandemic, one of like the golden things that this pandemic has brought all of us, especially people living with chronic illness, is that it brought the world down to our level. So it's manageable for us. Like, you no longer have to worry if you keep running back and forth to the toilet and you have a meeting because you're home and you can turn off your video for a second and like keep your headphones in so you can still hear what's going on and be in the bathroom. So there's so many things that this time in quarantine and collective step back has really, I think, aided the chronic illness community so much. At least I hope so. If there was a new complication that was brought up during the pandemic, feel free to leave a comment below because I love to think about all the different sides of things. One negative thing I can think of right now is the lack of public bathrooms now. A lot of places don't want anyone to use their bathrooms, and I'm like, you gotta let me use your bathroom. I mentioned this in a past video and I put a link below, but I'll add it to this video too. If you join the CCFA, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, if you're diagnosed with IBD, with Crohn's or colitis, you can get this thing called an I Can't Wait card. There's a bunch of states that participate in it, so hopefully you live in a state that participates in this, but it basically just explains to the place of business that you are allowed to use their bathroom because you have IBD. So if you go into a Starbucks and they're like, sorry, no restroom for the customers, just be like, where do you go to the bathroom? Show them your card, and they'll let you go. They have to. And if they don't, then you can like be a Karen and report them or whatever. Or just move on to the next business. We don't have to be Karens, do we? I just want to give a shout out to any Karens who aren't Karens. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad if your name is Karen and you're like a chill person. Everyone's been hating on Karens. I mean, rightfully so. Special shout out to the chill Karens out there. This must have been a really tough year. So, what was I talking about? Okay, this IBD therapist is amazing. I'm not sure if I can say her name. I feel like I've said it before. Mandy. I'm just gonna say Mandy because that's not her like official name. But Mandy at Mount Sinai, if you know, you know. Like, she's the best. If she's ever watching this, just like, I love you. I can't even like explain how much she has helped me and my mind and my life and everything. I'm just so grateful to have found her. I love you if you're watching. Where was I going? I got distracted by my love for Mandy. During one of our sessions, she mentioned if I've ever been interested in trying gut hypnosis. And I was like, bro, of course. Like, how did you know? I was so pumped. Like, just hypnosis in general has always been like a curious thing to me. Before hearing about gut hypnosis, the only other time I heard of hypnosis, probably like everyone else, is like at those school events or fundraisers where they have a hypnotist come up on stage and then they get like 20 people from the school and they try to like hypnotize everyone, and like some people can get hypnotized and some people can't. That whole thing just kind of seemed like a show, kind of like magic. I'm like, I feel like this is like an acting or like an improv class. Because I knew for myself, if I were to ever go up there and try to get hypnotized, then I would just pretend I was hypnotized. I thought that that's what people were doing. There is some truth to the hypnosis process, but it's not as magical as one might think. It's very straightforward and very obvious. If you have any sort of meditation practice, you'll feel me on that. And if not, it's very easy to get started. It just takes wanting to get started. If you're interested in hypnosis, if you're interested in guided meditation, That is all you need. That's literally the first step, because not everyone is interested in that stuff. So if you're into it, you can do it. Hypnosis is something that can be done virtually. It's words, it's sounds. It's just like a guided meditation. So I will walk you through my gut hypnosis experience with Mandy. So I would sit down, I put in my headphones just so it's easier for me to focus and to hear, and there's less distracting noises. And I just lean back in my chair, close my eyes, and just listen. She started to walk me through like a guided relaxation, softening all the muscles of the face, of the body, just like in a regular meditation. And then it becomes a lot more visual. It's a very visual process. So I really think that having a meditation practice already is going to help you in the hypnosis process. So in each session, she would give me a different visualization that would symbolize getting into the deepest part of you, your truest self inside. One of them was like walking downstairs. So she would paint a very vivid picture with her words of like, there's a velvet staircase with a wooden railing and you're in a beautiful home or whatever. And then each step that you go down, you get more and more relaxed, you get more and more receptive, and just kind of walks you down the stairs and into your deepest self. And she'll say like, and by the time you reach the first step, you are going to be in a receptive state, you are going to be completely relaxed, and I honestly forget the other cues that she would say. That's the gist of it. Another time she did like clouds, and I really liked that one because a lot of the visualizations is like stairs or an elevator, and it's always going down inside of you. But one time she did one where you were floating on a cloud up and up and up, and then once you get to like a certain place, then you're in the receptive state. I like them all, honestly. They all are good on different days. Once you get to the bottom of the stairs, to the top of the clouds, wherever it is, once you get deep inside yourself, which is where that is guiding you to, your body is a lot more open to accepting new ideas, new neural pathways, new relationships with your different body parts, because you are basically like a blank slate. I think a really, really great visualization for this is if you picture like a ski mountain. You can imagine that going down the stairs or just getting into that deepest, truest self, into that receptive state, is like fresh powder on the ski mountain, where it's like there's no paths. The possibilities are just open and endless. When you're not in that meditative state, like on a daily basis, like moment to moment basis, when we're moving around, we all have routines. We all have paths that we get stuck in. So our mind can be a lot like when it hasn't snowed in a while and those mountains are just like a million different paths in all these different directions, and some of them are really ingrained, so you have no choice but to like go down that path. And that's exactly what our thoughts are like. And if we get used to going down a certain thought path, especially one of like talking negatively about our digestive system or telling ourselves that our body is attacking itself and that we're chronically ill, and all these negative words that we communicate to ourselves because of what we've been told by our doctors growing up. You know, like it's not your fault, but these voices are present. And the goal, for me at least, with my hypnosis practice has been to heal that relationship a little bit and just separate myself from those voices and remember where those voices came from. I've been telling myself since I was 15 that my body is attacking itself, but that's not something I came up with. That's what my doctors told me, that I have an autoimmune disease, so my body is attacking itself. Oh my God, tangent, but this is gonna be a helpful one, I promise. Okay, body attacking itself. If you have an autoimmune disease, you've been told that before. And I have been pondering this for so long because I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. Like it just, like why would that happen? It makes me feel really split and disconnected, and it's just such an awful feeling, and it really pains me that doctors are telling kids that. Like, and even if that's true, like you don't have to tell the patient that. You can just say autoimmune disease. You don't have to say your body's attacking itself. Like, it just pisses me off. I've been pondering, been researching, been doing these things. So having an autoimmune disease means that your immune system is overactive, and your immune system is trying to protect you, but it's ending up hurting you more than it's protecting you, because it's like thinking that there's these viruses around, but there's nothing wrong, so it just ends up attacking the healthy parts of you. That's what an autoimmune disease is. That's what an autoimmune system is. My mother's not like this, so don't get offended, Mom. But I have seen mothers, I've witnessed mothers who just do too much, you know? Those mothers that are just kind of like nitpicking everything, like following around their kid and picking up after them and not wanting them to make any sort of mistakes in life and just being too much, just hovering, just like, and then that ends up hurting the child in the long run because they don't get to do all those things themselves. An autoimmune system is like an overbearing mother. It's trying so hard to keep you safe. It's trying so hard to protect you that's actually trying too hard, and it's ending up hurting you in the long run. So just kind of reframing that narrative is so helpful, where it's like, my body's not attacking me. My body is trying too hard to protect me. And that just sounds so much better and nicer and more manageable than my body's attacking itself. I feel like I should do like a 5-minute video explaining that just to help people out. Probably more people will watch that than this one. So that was the tangent. Where was I before the tangent? So the hypnosis process is rewriting the script that you have in your head of what is going on with your body and how your body performs. Because for me, I can really get stuck thinking like, my digestion is shit. Like, it doesn't do anything. Oh, I can't eat that. I'm not gonna be able to tolerate that. My stomach is mad at me. So the hypnosis process works slowly but powerfully to rewire that and to just change the narrative that you have with yourself. Once you're in that receptive state, she would say things like, all the organs in your digestive system are working seamlessly. They are healthy, they are strong. It's basically just really sweet messages and sweet reminders to your organs. And you're basically just talking to your organs and giving them love, dropping those little seeds of how you want to feel. Recognizing that you have the power to align yourself, even if it's just for a split second. You have the power to pretend, to act. You can also just like imagine, what would it feel like to have perfect digestion? What would it feel like if my colon did cooperate with me, or if my organs did feel like they were on my side or liked me even? Because it's like this disease just tears that relationship up. You just feel so disconnected and like your organs are just enemies of you. And that's natural. So, you know, you don't have to be hard on yourself for having those feelings. It would be weirder if you did not have those feelings, you know? Awareness is always the first step, and interest and curiosity. If you're watching this video, you've already checked those off. So, you know, you can go from here. So then at the end of the practice, she'll also say things like, and these messages are going to stay within you and you will keep healing. Your subconscious already knows these messages. So moving on from today, you will now allow your subconscious to heal you, and you will allow your body to heal, and just all those nice affirmations basically. And then she'll slowly be like, you're walking back up the stairs, or you're floating back down off the cloud, and then you're back in, and when I count to 10, you're gonna wake up and feel refreshed and rejuvenated, and then you wake up and go about life. It's a very interesting process. I'm not gonna lie, the first few times maybe just once or twice actually, I was thinking far too much, because I do teach meditation. So when I listen to other people's meditations, I'm analyzing, like I'm working basically. I'm overthinking it, you know, I'm not like fully just receiving. I did eventually get to a place where I could receive it, and it feels like magic. Like meditation is like the first step. So now, perfect segue. Now I'm going to talk about the similarities between hypnosis and meditation. I kind of briefly talked about this, but I'll just lay it out more plainly. Meditation is the process of fully relaxing your body, fully relaxing your mind, getting yourself into a receptive state and into an observant state, so you can observe the way your body's feeling, you can observe the way your mind is thinking, and you can observe your surroundings and any messages that are trying to come through to you. Meditation has a lot of different possibilities. And I mean, it's hard to say meditation is this, because there's so many different types of meditation. There's too much. I'm not gonna go into that. But when I'm saying the similarities between hypnosis and meditation, I'm talking about a mindful meditation, like a guided meditation, kind of like the ones I teach. I have a ton of the recordings here on this page, and I have guided meditation specifically for IBD. It's not hypnosis because I've not been trained in hypnosis, but I'm sure it kind of acts in a similar way. So if you're interested, check it out. I also have them on this app called Insight Timer, and I have ones for headache relief and just a lot of pain relief stuff, as well as just spiritually receptive angel stuff. If you're interested, it's there. So hypnosis and meditation, I think, are more similar than different. And the key difference is the seed planting. You basically just do a meditation, get into the hypnotic state and receptive, and in a meditation practice, you just stay here in that zone, and then you gently come out of it when you're ready. But in a hypnosis practice, you do the meditation process, you get to here, and then you go deeper where the seeds are planted for how you want to feel. And those new neural pathways can just be introduced to your mind just through word. It definitely takes consistency, just like a meditation practice. Like 5 minutes a day is always going to be better than 1 hour once a week. And just adding it to your schedule, adding it to your routine in a way, kind of just like brushing your teeth or anything else you do on a daily basis. And the physical benefits I have felt from gut hypnosis, as well as just a meditation practice, but definitely more strongly from a gut hypnosis session, is just a sense of acceptance and a sense of relief across my organs. And it's a little bit hard to explain, but I will try. If you have felt this, then you know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna use an analogy because they're the best. It's almost like, you know when you put butter on like a hot pan on the stove, and like first it's a big ball and it's kind of just clumped up and you just plop it there? That represents like your organs, just on a moment-to-moment basis. But then getting into that gut hypnosis state, or even sometimes just a meditative state, where you are focusing on your stomach, that butter just melts and it spreads and it relaxes and it takes over more space and it releases all the tension, and yeah, and then you just got melted butter. That just made me really hungry. Another one could also be just kind of like ice melting. Hopefully you get the point from that first analogy, because I don't feel like thinking of others. It allows me to go to the bathroom with so much more ease afterwards. If I go a day without doing a meditation thing or doing a yoga thing at all, which has been a while since that's happened, but I still remember, it's just really difficult for me to go to the bathroom. And even sometimes still, even with the practices that I do on a daily basis, I still will have difficulties here and there. It's just like that straining feeling where it's like, I feel like I have to go more than I'm actually going. And I don't want to get up from the toilet because I feel like as soon as I get up, I'm just going to have to go back to the toilet. So I just sit there and wait for things to come out and wait for me to feel empty and satisfied. But if I go to the bathroom after a gut hypnosis session or after a IBD focused meditation session, it's like butter. So simple and so easy, and it just falls out of me, and it's like the best feeling in the world. If you live with IBD, I hope you remember that feeling, because I didn't. I literally forgot what an effortless bowel movement felt like until I started a meditation practice. Because to be completely honest, I don't think I ever experienced that in my life. Even when I was little, I remember always having problems going to the bathroom. So it's a really great feeling, and it's so underrated. And people who have never had problems going to the bathroom just don't know how good they have it. And I'm so jealous, and just like, be so grateful. Be so, so grateful if you can go to the bathroom and you don't have to think about it. You know, it's not like a big mental buildup. That shit sucks, you know? And I think long-term benefits I've felt has just been less stress around going to the bathroom and a bit more tolerance in the pain that I'm experiencing, because I start to recognize the pain more as being a message, just a sign that something needs to shift, and not necessarily beating myself up or just questioning over and over again, why am I feeling this way? I hate that I'm feeling this way. I look at it more from that observer mind place. I just look at it more as an observer of the pain. I'm more curious of the pain and just like asking genuinely, like, why does my stomach hurt? Like, and I try to think about it. I try to put my hands there. I'm like, oh, I think it's because I ate that Parmesan cheese, or, oh, it must be from the chicken. Like, that must have been bad chicken. But I'm not getting so wrapped up in just like the why me? Like, I hate this. Why can't I eat whatever I want? Why can everyone else eat pizza, but I can? And all those woe is me feelings, which is fine to have, but you just gotta watch it. If you have those thoughts too much, or if you identify with them too much, it's just gonna cause so much more harm than good. And a meditation or hypnosis practice can be really beneficial to just start to think about getting out of those thought patterns and not putting the pressure on yourself to like fix everything right away or be thinking perfectly right away, because I've been doing this since 2018. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I'm just now starting to feel the real benefits of it. You know, like there are benefits that you feel right away when you're first starting. I mean, I've been living with IBD for 10 years, and I started dedicating myself to a daily meditation and yoga practice 3 years ago. So in the past 3 years, there's been spikes and dips, you know, like there's been waves of feeling really good, feeling really connected and understanding of my pain and accepting of my pain and my disease, and then shooting down to feeling like absolute shit and just so bad for myself for like months at a time. And I know I recorded videos like when I'm in that state of mind too. So if you are in a really bad flare up right now or something, and you're looking more for someone who's feeling like how you're feeling, I have those videos here too. I have to pee. I'm gonna stop this, go pee, and then start talking about Mary. Hey, it's Editing Ruthie. So it's been almost a month since I recorded that video. I've just been super busy traveling, visiting family, and editing videos for this other job that I do. So I could have made this video like an hour long, but it would take me a lot longer to post. So I'm posting this part now, and I'm working on editing the second part. And also, the second part of this video has some very valuable information in it. So I want that to kind of stand on its own. So I hope you enjoyed listening to part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. It's really good. It's worth the wait, I promise. I promise! Okay, I think that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching and for supporting me, and I'll see you in the next video! What is good with my part? Why does it? Yes, I do. I do want to do this because this is gonna help a lot of people, and it's gonna make me feel good and make other people feel good, and we're all gonna feel good together. We are in sync. Jesus, why am I so burpy? It's the fucking avocados. Is that better? This is fine. Does it have to be fucking like... We're learning. We're trying new things all the time. New tings.